Hello and welcome to our monthly update. Well, the 23rd of March was one of the busiest days in Melbourne auction market, and the buyer demand appears to have held up, improving that signs of the market is starting to happen. The media is getting behind it as well. The Real Estate Institute of Victoria reported that 1,162 homes went under the hammer with a clearance rate of 69%. Our team had 3 auctions on for that day. They all sold successfully under the hammer with no vendor bids to start the auction for over $60,000 above the reserve price. Our office in Blackburn sold a home every 26 hours in March. Some standout results for our team were 21 Ballura Avenue, Vermont, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 car garage, was a tastefully renovated home in a quiet, no-through road. It sold at auction in front of 120 people for $702,000.
Property is going, it is sold! Congratulations. Thank you for attending a Noel Jones auction.
We're 53,000 over reserve, which is an absolutely fantastic result. The team have been absolutely great. It's just the way that they get back to you every minute. They always keep in touch. They're always on the ball with everything. Couldn't have been a better result, so how could you not be relieved?
11 and 13 Downing Street, 2 superb town residents. They were both 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2 car accommodation, within walking distance to Blackburn Station, cafes and shops. One sold within a week, the other one selling on the auction day. The reserve price was undisclosed but whispers in the mid-700s. 6 Beddoe Road, Vermont, 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 1 car character weatherboard home featuring an enormous family room which overlooked onto the sparkling swimming pool. This was one of the fastest auctions I have called, with rapid bidding in front of a 60+ crowd, selling for $835,000.
It is going! No late bids. It is sold! Congratulations. Welcome to the neighbourhood.
We were impressed from the day they came in and gave us their valuation and the way they presented themselves, the way they structured their commission. I thought it was terrific. Above 800 and I get a boat, so we can get a boat. Yeah, we're ecstatic with the price.
7 Minerva Crescent, Vermont South, a well-loved family home built in 1969, was heavily bid for on the auction day. Multiple parties saw this 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2 living area home sell on auction day for $70,000 above the reserve for $710,000. Needless to say, the vendors were thrilled.
Dealing with Tim was fantastic in that when we met Tim and Matthew on the very first meeting to discuss whether we would put our home in their capable hands, we immediately realised that they had great rapport between them, and they certainly emphasised that it was a joint venture, not just between the agents but also with us. We are very happy with the fine result. It's always an anxious time when you're selling your house. We feel that their advice that they gave us along the way with regard to setting reserves, and so by listening to them, it has been a very worthwhile experience for us.
One of the great things that's helping the real estate market perform so well is the low interest rates. Let's cross to Martin from Bennet Financial Group and find out what's happening.
Welcome to the March Finance Update. My name is Martin Bennet. Westpac has made a bold move, increasing their fixed rates by 0.2%. The reason this is a bold move is that all other major banks have held tight, which still enables you to get a fixed rate at 4.99%. There's been another big move out there in the variable rate market, where banks are offering up to 1% discounts for loans over the $500,000 mark, and also a 0.9% discount for anything underneath that. This is a great time to go out there and take advantage of these discounts, and the great thing is that those discounts will remain over the life of the loan. Today I'd like to touch on the importance of sitting down with a mortgage professional prior to selling or listing your home. More often than not, if you're looking to sell your home, you're going to be buying another property. It's really important to understand how the sale may affect adversely or in a positive light your future borrowings. If you happen to find a property that you like and would like to purchase prior to you selling your existing, it's important to know upfront what you can do to secure this new home without losing your shirt. A great example of this has been, we recently had a client who found a property that was their dream home. They weren't prepared, hadn't got their existing home ready for listing, and were quite concerned. The property was a hot property and they knew if they were going to make an offer, it needed to be unconditional. In this scenario, the first thing we did was engage the agent to go out and inspect the client's property. We needed to know quickly how much their home could sell so we could move on and arrange finance. The important part of the finance for this client was making sure if their home took a little bit longer to sell, they weren't going to be left high and dry, not being able to afford their new home and also to carry their existing mortgage. The solution for this client was to set up a relocation loan. A relocation loan enables the client to transition from one property to the next prior to selling their existing home without having the stress of cash flow and being able to carry two mortgages. If this is set up correctly, it can be a fantastic method to enable you to get into your dream home and also give you enough time to prepare your existing home for sale and get a top price. Remember the steps. Step 1, engage your agent. Step 2, engage your mortgage professional to make sure you have that correct finance structure. If you do have any questions or would like to sit down and have a consultation about how this may be able to benefit you, please give our office a call. Thank you, and I'll talk to you next month.
Our special guest this month is John Wheatley, Director of Urban Angles Photography Company in Melbourne. John's going to shed some light on exactly what it takes to get the best photos and maximise your sale price. John, thanks for being on the show.
Not a problem.
Can you tell us a little bit about the company and what it is that you guys do?
We're one of Melbourne's leading photographic companies, specialising in property and architecture. We photograph properties all over Melbourne. We've been in photography for 10 years ago. More than 10 years ago, we started Urban Angles.
So, John, how did you get into this?
I got into property photography because I just saw that people were making a meal of it. It looked atrocious. I mean, I couldn't believe what I was seeing in the marketplace for angles and imagery for someone trying to sell something that might have been worth, even in those days, a house worth $250,000, $300,000 that looked like they were just, happy snaps. I mean, it's like today, the people who shoot it on an iPhone. How can you do that? You're just devaluing the property from day dot. You haven't even started the process and you try and put images up that look atrocious. I mean, today the marketplace sits in such a great world with regard to the presentation on iPads, internet. The quality has all gotten better, that you must have superior images. If you don't have great imagery, you will not stand out next to the other guy. And it still concerns me and it makes me have a bit of a laugh to see that people actually still think they can get away with taking happy snaps or dealing with firms which are not at the top of their game.
So where do you think people go wrong with photographs? They just don't quite get it right, in your opinion?
The major mistakes we see in photography are angle choice, height of camera, and then essentially retouching as well. We use traditional retouching techniques. So a lot of people have heard in the market about a technique called HDR. We use old school retouching where we overlay the layers of files to create one blended image, rather than an HDR technique is put 3 images into a computer and let it spit out what you get. So we do it traditionally where we cut out every window, where we highlight and maximise each area of an image to create one best image for each shot taken.
John, last month we spoke to Katrina Mays, interior stylist. What are your tips on, I suppose, photographing the home and how it needs to be set up?
Yeah, the tips I'd say is make sure, bench tops are clean and decluttered, make sure that, in bathrooms there's no personal items around. Possibly remove your own personal pictures from around the house as well. That type of thing can often be just seen as when someone's trying to think of themselves in their home, in that house. It just can take away a little bit sometimes. Making sure lawns are mowed is an important thing. Get rid of bins, get rid of hoses, make sure the drive's swept, paving's clean, clean. Look at it as if it's a picture in your mind prior to us arriving.
So a lot of this for people watching, probably thinking, geez, this sounds expensive. Is it a worthwhile investment? And what are is it competitive? Can you give us an idea?
The affordability should not really be an issue with dealing with urban angles. I mean, our prices don't differ much more than $100 here or there. And when we look at the cost of even a marketing campaign, photography is certainly not the most expensive thing. It's important you get that right. It's going to go on the internet, it's going to go in brochures, it's going to go on boards, and we are a fraction of the cost for actually presenting the property. If you invest in good photography, or great photography like we offer, you will obviously get results.
Now, your company seems to certainly help our company many times and get editorial support. Why do you think that is?
We find that images that we take forwarded through for editorial opportunities do get through, and that's why our images being great images, that's what the papers want, that's what they pick up, and definitely we find you get a lot more editorial opportunities from dealing with the images that we take for Noel Jones.
John, some great advice. Thanks very much for being on the program.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for taking the time to watch the show. If we can assist you in any way in buying, selling or renting, please give me a call on 0433 304 805, and we look forward to seeing you next month.